Good afternoon, my friends. Today I'm very happy, my friend. My brothers and sisters, this book, Marcosai Winmish, it means Marcelo. So this was an architect, town planner, who did the whole town planning of Asmara, okay, during the colonization. Okay, so that's Marcelo. Marcosai Winmish, can you believe it, And the other one is Ugo Theo. Do you remember Ugo Bar Ugo? Museo de Caleta, business in Asmara. He's a bald-haired guy. He was telling us, I did architecture. He didn't do it, my friend, he was just doing some rubbish job. So he used to live near Stockholm, near our YMCA, So I think he's now living in North London. So I met him in this Eritrean festival. His sister, I think, her sister, or no, I think I'm missing someone. Anyway, so that's Bar Ugo, okay? So this Ugo Theo was a very famous engineer, marine engineer, okay? And it's really funny, man. I'm extremely very proud of myself, So this guy developed this kind of radar system, okay? And he did develop some kind of medication before penicillin, okay? Penicillin before Mr. Fleming. That was where it was built in St. Mary Hospital, okay? Paddington. I worked there for 1 year, almost 1 year. So this Italian guy developed this medication. So this is about biomedical science and related to the electrical system. And he did a lot of radar system tracking, if there are some boats or any vehicles. So this electromagnetic system detects 35 kilometers away before the plane comes around to anywhere that you have a target with, okay? So that was very effective. So this guy, Ugo, had 2 children. One of them was Roberto, okay? Roberto was the husband of, I wouldn't say she was my girlfriend, she's kind of this really petite Italian girl, mixed race in Andrea, Asmara, okay? So, her dad was called Roberto, and she just came to my place, she was taking photos of my kids, especially my son, okay? So that is, her dad was Roberto, okay? So this, it's really amazing, man. This Ugo had 2 kids, one from Roberto, okay? So when I went to TK Maxx, Brixton, they put on the display the name of the shoes, like what we have this Reebok and Nike and all Adidas. They had a brand called Roberto. So they were expecting me to buy it, because I put a post about all this brand, all that kind of stuff, So they put that on display and it was costing £50. I immediately noticed it and I just left that away there, okay? So Roberto was her dad, so she took a lot of photos of my son, okay? And my daughters, and it's really amazing. So this Ugo was a Marine, kind of a soldier into then the Marine department of this Italian. Went to Venice, my friend. Venice was the world's filthy center of slavery, okay? So they were buying all these slaves from Central Europe and they were selling them to the Maghreb and Median countries, like Morocco, Tunisia, Syria, and everything, So that was before the Portuguese and before the Spanish. Venice was the capital city of nerve center brain of slavery. Disgusting thing, okay? So there was this lady called Samantha Griffiths, where I was working for Royal Free Hospital. So this lady was a PA. I think later on she was working for this Australian health minister. So she had this Italian boyfriend. So she had all this gondola kind of thing with him, and I was like, hey, what that? And she told me, I'm Italian, that's a gondola kind of romantic thing, So that's why I free hospital, okay? So Samantha Griffiths. So my son, my ex called him Samuel, and there was one guy called Tesfai. Tesfai told me He was calling my son, Samiti, kind of like, he was trying, but imagine this was a Venice, okay, slave trade center, okay, so this guy is well notified, okay. So there is one guy called Vincenzo Nadre. He's a bosom of a drunkard, alcoholic guy, okay. He's mixed race from Italy, big guy, Nadre. So this Vincenzo was admiral of the Italian Marine. Can you believe it? Like that? I didn't know all this top secret, my friend, okay. So this Bar Ugo was uncle of Italian Marine. He was a lieutenant general or lieutenant colonel, I'm not 100% sure. But he was a relative of this Vincenzo, the admiral. Okay? So this Vincenzo is from Adria, so he was renting all the houses, like people like Ndabwe Kashiraya, Bal Ordom, okay? Ndagwa out in that area, Ndabwe Hapayas, you know, the whole people inside there. It's a big compound. So these Italians, they left them the house and he lives there renting it out. He's always drinking up, always boozing. So that's Vincenzo, can you believe it? Like, so the town planner was, just to recap, the town planner of Asmara was called Marsilio, okay? And this Eritrean man from Halai wrote so much passionate book about Winnie, was it? Marcos Winnie Smasher. So he changed the name from one Spanish writer, converted, but obviously it's a namesake for this placeholder, for this Marcellus, my friend, admiral of Italy, okay? And Ugo is his kind of like cousin or his uncle's son. So he was at a big post, like my friend, he was detecting all these aeroplanes and submarines, and he developed and designed gyrocopter as well, like that. So he developed this radar detection system. Okay, so when the boat is 20 kilometers away, the signal of electronic propagation magnetism detects the radar that tells you there is a boat 20 kilometers ahead. So you prepare, my friend, like you make your missiles or mortars, like, you know, and just you shoot it. Okay, even if there is any airplane coming from 35 kilometers, okay, it notifies you this electromagnetic kind of this, you know, field around our environment. So like, you know, we shoot it. So this is military, naval military with aeroplanes. So he created a gyrocopter as well. So we're talking about this before the Second World War. So this is the guy responsible for creating this penicillin before Mr. Fleming at Imperial Hospital. Okay, so that's who Ugo. There's a bar, very famous bar called Ugo. This Muse Kleta is one of the family members. Okay, so I know him very well. So like this proper mafia, this Ndaforno Kleta or Muse Kleta. Ndaforno means Muse was the guy, the very responsible guy. I mean, the guy in the center of the core of the family. So they go. The oldest was Johannes John, but he hasn't got that much power. So the more powerful is the middle guy called Muse. He's got big head dog, kind of like that. So he used to be boyfriend of Zodi Gilazi. She used to live in YMCA. Okay? She used to work for this shop somewhere in Holland Park, long time ago. Okay? So they had a restaurant called Savannah in Asmara, where this Fred Hollows Ward, he was a very famous optician, Australian. He did a lot of voluntary for the fighters, okay? So I was told their restaurant, their hotel has been taken over by the government, and like, you know, so that's where I dated my ex-wife for the first time. So we had a dinner. I don't know how this Musi ended up there, like, you know, his house. He was following me, I don't know. So we had a dinner, rice and beef. I'm not 100% sure, beef or lamb. I think it's beef. Beef with rice and, like, you know, it was my mom, my dad, my sister, Jordanos, so Rita, my ex, and me. That was the first time I dated my ex-wife, okay? So this one, Musekalata, okay? Musekalata, Barugo. Muse, Naforno, Johannes, and they got another brother called Sfalet. He's from Andaman, but the same dad. He used to live in Sweden, so he was a friend of this guy called Aklidu. Aklidu Gobegaris. He's now into taxi. He was living in Italy for a long time, okay? So that's Bar Ugo. Bar Ugo is the cafe where Muse Cleta family owns it. Okay, so this is my ex-girlfriend for a short time. I mean, she had a husband, mixed race, called Marino. I think they had a kind of business hotel, something in Massawa. I remember it, my friend needed Reno. Okay? So she told me her husband was Marino. Like it's Marino. Like, see, can you believe it, man? So she's got two daughters. One was Monica and the other one was Georgina. Okay? Can you believe it, man? So she came into my house probably around 2 or 3 times. So she was taking a lot of photos of my son, and she was telling me, my goodness, he's got really beautiful eyes, completely beautiful eyes, kind of thing. So she was emphasizing on that. Now I found a man. Okay? So this mixed race, Vincenzo, Eloise Buza, is, I don't know how, whether his dad had a lot of children from different electron combines, like, you know. Her mom was called Aditra, like, you know, and she was sister called Kenneth. She's in Switzerland, okay? So that's from near Andrea. She is living near this in Dahiwa. Okay, so her dad is Roberto. So the children of this Ugo, one of them was Roberto. Can you believe that? And Bar Ugo means Musicata's family house, because I'm trying to recap for you, okay? So her husband was called Marino. She was still committed to her husband, Mafra, but we were flinging. She was flinging with me, Mafra. So that's dishonest, Mafra. You break the vow of marriage, man. It's really a disaster. Okay? So her husband was called Marino. So this Eritrean leader who was going to Kenya, to Nairobi. Nairobi, her name is Roberta, so it was Nairobi for Robi, my sister, for my Robi. Then all in a sudden, this Amanil Kifle, the man, who was coming to this Europe, a restaurant called Mascaran. Europe means I rob. I am Robi. I rob you, kind of like I rob my Roberta, my Robi. I mean, his dad is from this Catholic kind of people in Andrea. Like, you know, I think he told me his dad was kind of like accountant for the Italians. I don't know. Like, so, my friend, I found out now. So, Marino, okay? Vincenzo, Chama, and Ugo, Marcelo, the guy who did all this town planning of Asmara. What is the superhero? And I could have been ended now in Venice and being sold as a slave, me and my kids, all of us. Venice, the disgusting city, disgusting center of slaves, all these centuries, my friend, before the advent of discovery, before the Portuguese and the Spanish, when they found out a way shorter, Marco Polo found out a shortcut to Cape of Good Hope, then all the way to East India, my friend, to Java, Filipino, Indonesia, Malaysia. Venice was the most disgusting slave trade center, like today modern stock control. So their stock control was about slaves. I could have ended in Venice, my friend. Wouldn't be so much proud for me, my friend. Wouldn't be so happy for me. See you. You have a lovely day, guys. All right, bye. I feel very proud of myself, man.